Hi, hello. It's Daggercast.
Hi.
We're
That was all the
large.
people saying hi back to you.
I know, right? Everybody was like, yeah. I really hope Jared puts like a big like, yeah, like cheer.
Exactly like that.
That'd be great. We're large. We're in charge. We're here. Taking place both in Indianapolis, Indiana, and Chicago, Illinois. It's your girl, Lindsey Charles. Currently, I'm dressed as Halloween as when you work remotely, you can't take a sick day. So this is my work from home when I feel like shit outfit. Ugh. I'm just like, I can still work. I don't need to do anything. Oh, it's fine. Millennials don't take days off anymore. So that's how it is. And Brian Kirst, my love.
Hey, my love, how are you?
I'm doing really good. Tell me about your outfit, please.
I'm a bloody barista. You can't see. Can you see the Star Treks?
Yes. Star Treks. I work at Star Treks.
I work at Star Treks. Beat me up, bloody barista.
That guy's had way too much caffeine.
Dude, I there was a candy bowl at work today, and I had too much of it. Like I've been trying to avoid that shit, but yeah.
Yummy.
Snickers, Starburst,
I like that idea.
Skittles. So
anyway,
that's what you're getting.
I would love. I think you look great. I think you look bloody as fuck. All right. I would like to thank a lot of. I'd like to thank people, mostly my friends, who have said, "Yay, you're back! Hooray!" So I'm really happy to be back. I'm sure like we all are. Like everybody is just like pleased as punch. I asked a couple people. Last episode we talked about. Video, movies and media that was getting us through the pandemic. I got a lot of responses from wonderful friends. Yay. And I saw some really good like repeating ones. And one was, and I can't believe I left this out, but literally for, I would say the first month of Olive's life in February of 2020, Ryan and I ripped through the Alien franchise.
Oh, neat.
All of it. And it is very like, it was because Ryan was playing literally while we were rocking Olive to sleep. He was playing Alien Isolation because it had gotten on the Switch. I think it was like previously like a PlayStation game or something. But Alien Isolation literally is a video game that plays like a horror movie. And it's like an alien horror movie, but it's a game and it takes forever to get through. It's very intricate. But Ryan played that, and then we played all of the Alien videos, and then I cut my hair into a weird Ripley mullet that didn't work, and all my hair fell out anyway, so it didn't matter. And I completely forgot about that. And so I saw a lot of that. And then a lot of people said The Fly, Cronenberg's The Fly.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Because also like he's kind of his house.
Yeah.
Because
I guess it's like reveling in body horror while body horror was actually happening, I guess.
Sure, absolutely. Because people were, I mean, the stuff we were seeing in hospitals was like body horror for sure. And also, he just, like he was confined to his house after he became Brundlefly. So I think it was very like, most of the movie just took place in his house. So that kind of makes some sense. But yeah, it was cool. Thank you for giving me some options, friends, for things that you've enjoyed. Please keep telling us stuff, anything you want to share. We're on all the social medias, we're on the Instas, we're on the Fespus, and you can also email us at daggercastinfo@gmail.com. Okay, all the housekeeping stuff is out of the way.
Nice.
Looks like
is Aliens a Disney thing? Because there was Aliens, there's a new Marvel comic book that's a new Alien story, which I'm getting, but in order to kind of advertise it, like all the superheroes, like Captain Marvel, they all did Alien covers. I've got this cool cover with Captain Marvel with Alien, kind of with one of the aliens sneaking up in the background.
Maybe they do. Maybe they own the studio. Oh, wow! Somebody just revealed themselves.
Any day now, Caitlin will come on. That's my loving homage to Miss Caitlin Jackson, who played Bette Midler and knocked the shit out of that song.
Woo! So
computer just froze while I was trying to get a background of Bev.
Bev!
And
Bev is everywhere.
Everything is a mess. Technology, man.
It sucks.
we were trying to do a beverage, a sweet, lovely Bev picture, but the surprise has been revealed. It's really Caitlin.
What did I interrupt? It froze.
So everyone, this is the amazing, the indomitable, the irreplaceable Caitlin Jackson, one of the most amazing goddesses of Chicago theater, huge horror lover.
Yes.
Stephen King tattoo bearer. Look at, there she goes.
There goes. Oh, look
epic?
at him.
Epic. She was on our kind of, I guess we had a promo episode, then our very first episode, I think was Caitlin and David from Evil Dead the Musical. So,
which was lovely.
It was lovely.
Happy to be back.
Yay.
In our Halloween costumes. Do you know who I am?
Who are you?
I'm Estella from Cruella. I'm Emma Stone as the first before she transitions into Cruella. Google a picture. I'm telling you, it's spot on.
Awesome.
Yes.
Like, Google it.
Love it.
You're gonna be impressed.
Love it.
With how I nailed this costume in 24 hours.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I literally thought about it forever and then was just like, no, I'm just gonna go with something that I can be cozy in. Yeah. The end.
That's my house Stone Cold, Caitlin.
Ooh, yeah. Stone Cold Caitlin.
I once convinced a drunk guy at a bar that I was Emma Stone once.
Yeah?
Yeah, he fully believed it.
Did he actually autograph?
And yeah, and he took pictures of me and sent it to his friends.
Oh my God!
He's totally mistaken, but he thought he met Emma Stone that night.
You got a career going on there. Emma Stone impersonator.
Totally.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
So we are having a very special episode tonight, courtesy of Ms. Jackson. So what are we discussing tonight?
Well, I think it would behoove us to discuss the greatest television show of our time.
Is that Buffy?
Oh, we could talk about Buffy. No.
It's Squid Game, right? We're talking about Squid. We're talking about that Squid Game.
I'm only on episode 3 of Squid Game. Anyway. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a Midnight Mass.
Yay!
It's funny.
The Mike Flanagan masterpiece.
Yes, I think Squid Game has completely eclipsed the fact that Midnight Mass even existed.
It has.
It's literally like it was like, hey, Midnight Mass, Squid Game. This is Squid Game forever.
Kids are watching Squid Games, and kids didn't watch Midnight Mass because it's just like monologues.
Yes, it's so theatrical.
Dude, so many monologues. Like after a while, I could like clock
written,
them. I was like, oh no, here it comes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah. Nice.
They were, It was for me as like a theater. I think all the theater kids were like,
because we all want to do those monologues.
Of course we do.
I was like, they are just all the cast are fucking loving this. Yes.
And
fucking loving every moment of this. When did they get to do that in film? Never.
Dude, at the beginning, I literally was like, oh no, all this age makeup, this is bad. I'm scared. But then there was a reason, obviously.
There was a reason, but you do wonder, you're like, all right, where is all his Bly Manor, Haunting of Hill House money that they couldn't like CGI or cast old people and CGI them a little young and then, but that poor actor playing Mildred who was 25 years old and the Alzheimer's ridden crusty age makeup as Annabeth Gish's mom. I was like, what?
Yeah, I wondered if she was like, this is gonna get me the Emmy. This is it, man. And everybody was like, this is terrible. I can tell you're 25 immediately. Like,
well, the first thing my husband Kirk said was, he goes, oh, I'm uncomfortable that Elliot from E.T. is Matt Saracen's dad. Matt Saracen from Friday Night Lights, who's Zach Gifford. And I was like, that doesn't sound right. Like, I know you're old, Kirk, but you're not that old. And that's when I did the Googling and realized everybody's age. And Matt Saracen's mom was played by Avery on Felicity. Now, that's she was bad news on Felicity.
Ooh.
And then you had the actor playing Bev, Samantha Salwin.
Is it Sloan? Slooyan. I'm horrible at pronouncing.
Yeah. But spoiler alert, she killed Derek Shepherd on Grey's Anatomy, so she's never been good.
Oh,
Okay.
sweet.
She looks like a fucking killer nurse person.
She didn't order a head CT, and you know what?
Look
And
what
she did
happened.
and she probably did it on purpose. Wow.
For the Lord.
Yeah, God willed it.
Yeah.
God made it happen.
Yeah.
Literally got, and I wanted Bev to die every time I saw her on camera.
I agree.
The second she looked at that dog and was like, "That dog attacked me," I was like, "Kill her, kill her."
Now, do we need to kind of summarize this a bit for people who don't know what?
How can you not know it?
No.
I mean, we can.
I want to say it.
Diving in like the whole world knows.
I think we should say a large.
Both are legit.
I think we should say a large fucking spoiler alert.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna
be spoiling.
We're gonna talk about it. We're talking about all of it, 1 through 7. We're gonna talk about the whole damn thing. So if you don't want to know the ending, stop right now and then go watch it and then come back.
Yeah.
And let's have a combo.
And I think it's important to tell our audience that we're gonna talk about it out of order.
And absolutely.
Make it as confusing as humanly possible for someone who may have not seen it.
Yeah. So
rambling convo.
Again, please just go watch it.
I mean, nothing makes a quality podcast like chaos.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
I think that's our fucking tagline right there.
Chaos.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Carpenter.
Much like a Smash Mouth concert, which is also horrific.
Like a Smash Mouth concert. Yep. Somebody's gonna talk about Midnight Mass, and it's us.
Yeah.
So anyways, going into it, because it's about this small, isolated community.
You give us our little
Catholic church. You know, mysterious things start happening. They're cut off from society. Their 80-year-old priest has disappeared, and this new young hot priest comes to replace him, and strange things begin to happen. And it's a lot about mortality and faith and life, and huge monologues between the cast members, and lots of unusual and fascinating things start to occur. But I have to say, as someone who grew up Catholic, I'm like, my first thought is, please don't be glorifying the church here. You know, please don't.
Absolutely.
You know, please do not be doing that. And so I kind of, it was kind of fun because I kind of held my breath and until the end was like, okay, is this going to be like kind of a raising up the Catholic Church? But it's not. It's definitely not. It's very kind of unbiased, but it's definitely like about religions in general, I think. But it's definitely kind of does not paint the Catholic Church in a good light, which is great for me. Plus, I think this must be universal. I'm assuming that every other town has a St. Patrick's Church, but the church that I grew up in the small town I grew up in, East Randolph, New York, that was our church, the St. Patrick's. And believe me, 2 of the priests I grew up with were confirmed serial sexual predators.
Oh, how exciting.
Well, and also Brian, you've talked about your own experience.
Well, my experiences were 2 of them were with these priests. In fact, one of them, Father Lou, loved horror films, and I loved horror films as a kid, and it freaked my parents out because they were school teachers, and I think they got that I was the gay, weird, theater kid, and the fact that I liked horror films on top of that freaked them out to no end. I think they thought I was going to be going to school with guns blazing, and Father Lou loved horror films, and he became my first horror film buddy and kind of normalized that for him. So definitely kind of some weird gothic and weird shit would happen in that rectory. Friends would come to visit him, and I'd babysit, and there would be noises and doors would just open and close, and like he had really, really intense, crazy energy. So yes, so I really related to kind of all the crazy things and just atmosphere around the church here. So
yeah,
I think anytime you got like crazy, fucked up, nasty shit happening, you just summon weird energy. So
I don't disagree with that at all. I think that's 100% factual.
Yeah.
It sounds nutty, but I don't think, I mean, we wouldn't have these experiences and be able to tell these stories with such detail if there wasn't something behind it.
Yep.
Sure.
Got it.
No, and I like that this was very personal to Mike Flanagan too, because he obviously came from a very Catholic upbringing. So it was definitely like a personal story for him. And you could really tell. And I really liked that. Though there was there's this pretty cool Vox article that I read about a woman who was like, why I feel betrayed by Midnight Mass. And it was I think they were, I'm not quite sure what the gender was, but they were like a queer atheist, and they were like, where was I in this movie? Like where even did I exist? And I was, and me as a I mean, I'm definitely more of an atheist than an agnostic like I used to be. Now I'm a little bit more of an atheist, but like I wondered where I was in this, and it was literally like the people who weren't showing up to church, those very few people who weren't showing up, who probably were just atheists in their beds, then woke up to their house being on fire and being eaten. Well, like,
I go ahead, Caitlin.
Annabeth Gish was a queer atheist.
Yes. Yes.
Well, see, there you go. So
right there, she's an amazing character.
Here's something that I read another article. Who knows where I read it? Where Mike Flanagan talked about. Obviously, he's been he's had this story for a decade. It's popped up as the book in Gerald's Game. There was something in there's some, he's got little Easter eggs about this story that he's always wanted to tell. And he said that originally the story was between the father, and for the love of God, I can't call him anything other than Matt Saracen, but the guy, Zach Gifford.
Yeah.
Gifford. And it was supposed to be that was the battle, right? It was a man of God versus a man who had lost all faith and was a total atheist now, who had been like a child of God, and through circumstances in life was the total opposite. So it was two polar opposite ends. And as he told the story more, and as he got to know the actors that he wanted in it and stuff like that, he realized that this is not a story about two men on opposite ends of the spectrum. This is a story about two women who are in the middle. And so you have, or almost in the middle, but in extreme versions of things, right? So you have Bev, who's an extreme fanatic, right? So far, far on the other opposite end of Father, Monsignor, sexy Hamish Linklater.
Hamish.
And then you have Erin, who does believe in God. She does have faith. She has spirituality, but she's not a fanatic. She does not believe in the Bible verbatim and stuff like that. She's very much who I think a lot of modern religious people are, and maybe who I'd even, like, I'm not very religious. I grew up Lutheran. I don't know. Like, I didn't really go to church that much, and I don't, but like, I'd go to a Wiccan church. I'd go to a Pentecostal church. I'd go and like check things out. I'm interested in spirituality. The same way I think we're interested in horror and gothic and stuff like that. It's a factor in it. So Aaron was sort of that character. And so when he realized that it was about these women who have very non-standard takes on religion, that it became a more interesting story. And I agree with that.
I agree. I really do think, like, because there was a moment where I was like, after the episode that where is it Zach Guilford? What's he's Matt, the one who's like the addict, right? Matt, I think.
Call him Matt Saracen. That's not
No, it's Rick, right? Or
no.
What is his name?
I can't remember now.
Bald dude who had constant visions of Lady B, half face lady.
Riley Flynn.
Riley.
Flynn.
That's right, Riley.
That was his name. When Riley burns himself in that boat, I thought that was the greatest ending to an episode I've ever seen, because it was such a moment of like, I just loved that whole episode and how it rolled out when he was like, well, this is what you are now.
Yep.
And you're going to be hungry and you're going to be addicted to blood and eating. Like, God chose this for you. Sorry. he like didn't see it as being like oh, my life was saved. Like, oh, he just saw it as literally like, I'm an addict and now I'm really an addict. Like, I'm an addict to live. This is bad. And he literally was just like, I'm gonna burn myself up in a boat. Screw you. Like, I love that idea of just of how they were like, oh no, religion's gonna save you from being addicted to alcohol.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it was like religion made him even more addicted to something. Like literally like just put a heavier burden on him.
Yeah.
A burden so big that he was like, I'm gonna die. And it was just such a, to me, that was one of the moments of the show that really hit me. So you can definitely tell that Mike Flanagan was, he wanted that payoff hard.
Yeah.
But then later he was like, oh no, let's keep going. And so some of those episodes after, I was like, why didn't it just stop at him burning himself? Because then I was like, oh no, the main character's dead. What happens next?
Surprise.
And that, you're right, because I really liked the end, and I really liked was it Erin? That was her name, right? I liked her. I liked yeah, I really loved.
She's married to him, correct?
She is, yeah.
Oh, is that why she's in all the?
Yeah,
she's very.
She's brilliant.
She's brilliant. I think she's gorgeous too.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something very like gorgeous about her.
What I loved about that scene between them, I'm so sorry, but between Riley and Erin, it was, as I said, like I was in suspense to the end about what is his point going to be, and how he's going to wrap this up. That also, you had no fucking idea, because he has been transformed into essentially a vampire, and he takes Erin out onto a boat out in the water, and you have no idea, is he going to turn her to, is he what you have no idea what he's going to do, and until that last moment you realize what's going to happen. So that sense of suspense doesn't happen a lot for me in films, like not knowing what's going to happen, and it felt like multiple things could happen in that scene with him out in the rowboat in the middle of nowhere, which is brilliant. It's to achieve that in this world where I think we're all pretty savvy and have seen a lot of stuff, and are inundated with, we can binge watch how many series in a week, so we're pretty culturally aware. Yeah. And to be surprised like that is pretty awesome.
Absolutely. I also think that ending, I think because that payoff was so good, I think it made the ending a little harder for me to, because I was just like, holy shit, like you just blew me off my chair. And then it was just kind of like, and we're still doing stuff. Okay. So,
Helen, it sounded like you were gonna say something a couple times there.
What was it? I don't know. I don't know what I was gonna say. I was gonna, to sort of piggyback onto talking about Riley and what he could have done with Erin on that boat. I think it's very interesting that the Flynns and hold on, I'm looking up.
Thank you for doing this, by the way. Yeah. Names always escape me.
Right. So the Flynns and Sheriff Hassan and the guy who played his son, right? So we have the Flynns and the sheriff's son. And those are the only 4 people on that island who became vampires that never killed somebody.
Yep.
And also, the Flynns, because I also really loved that part where he found his wife finally, and he was like, I feel it too. I feel that hunger too, but you don't have to do it.
And I think that was foreshadowed in the fact that Riley did that. So Riley has this hunger, this thirst, he does struggle with addiction. He has done bad things. He has killed people. Yep. And because of his thirst, like he's killed people. And he is now given this power and this bigger thirst. And he takes Erin out on this boat and he just tells her what happened and how important she is, and then he goes. And the fact that he is a product of his mother and father are why, and Bev brings that up when Bev meets with Annie at the end and says, oh, well, your son his behavior is a product of you. And she goes, yes, every bit of it. Yeah. And that was an interesting foreshadowing, I thought, that Riley, because even though this religion permeates through this town and affects these people, and that's how it does in real life too, you are not victims of faith, and you have control over your beliefs and your actions, and that's sort of where Aaron came into play. But so the Flynns, yes, it's hungry, yes, we want to murder and eat people because we're vampires, but we will not, because that is not who we are, and no one ever gave them permission to do so. And that was another thing. Bev gave everyone permission to do this, and a lot of religious doctrines and stuff like that are people looking to God to say, can I do this? Like that movie, The Experiment with Adrian Brody, that was based on the Stanford Prison Experiment.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Forrest Whitaker. But yeah, and so it was, I thought that was an interesting.
Well, yeah, and also just the fact that the Flynn family, like when he comes back, like the dad's like, "You're going to church." Like, I can't relate to you. I don't understand you. You're going to church. Like, it was so like they just weren't able to talk to each other.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just the fact that they almost used church as a way to be like, this is how we be good. We be good to church.
Well,
but instead it was really like it was just their inner morals, like them as people and their scruples.
And
like
I think the Flynns as a family saw church and the way because that's just what you do. That's just what you do on this island. It's just where you go. It's just when Aaron was trying to get Annie off the island, she's like, well, no, it's Easter Mass. I can't go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And well, also, I'm also going to go back to the atheist thing, because I really think like at the end I was like, finally we'll find them, like all of the people that were just in their houses sleeping. You could hear them. They were just running. They go to the house and then you just hear like, and then the guy, like one of the guys that's first in the circle of people who know about the Monsignor, they like it's one guy and the guy's like, I think I killed my family. What's going on? And like Bev's like, you turn this guy? Like, this guy doesn't go to our church. You can't turn this dude. And I think it's Sturgill or Sturge or something.
Sturge is the one who turns the guy.
Yeah, and he's just like,
always nice to him.
He was nice to me.
So he turned, and that's another like insight into belief and faith and religion. It's the people who, I just want to be good, and you tell me to be good, so I do these things.
You tell me how I
want
kill
this person to be okay too, and
well, it's so funny because then Bev looks at him and he goes, and she like goes to the clueless dude, and she's like, well, maybe you should have gone to church, then you would have known what we were doing. We're all gonna eat you.
And it's those people that you're not worthy of God's love, and that you don't belong. Even if you want to be, you can't be in our cool God club.
It really made me think. It was like a very this was like a very, it reminded me of the movie Fragility. Was that what the movie was?
Where Matthew McConaughey and Bill Paxton and
it's like the twist is, surprise, God is real.
Yeah.
And he was protecting him.
He's killing demons, no big deal.
That was like the moment where I as like an atheist I was just like, oh no, should I be going to a mass like every now and again, just to make sure they're not like, okay guys, now when no one is looking, we're all gonna go to their houses, we're gonna eat them, just so I'm like aware and I can tell everybody else like, hey guys, watch out.
Well, I mean, truly the gift Mike Flanagan has given us with Midnight Mass is a peek into that world, so we now know we're prepared. Yeah, we know what's happening behind closed doors.
Yes.
Also,
for growth.
Yeah.
Right. And I kind of want to talk a little bit about kind of the color of people that we saw on the island. It was very it reminded me a lot of Schitt's Creek, because Schitt's Creek was very diverse, both sexually and like color wise, in this podunk Canadian town.
Yeah.
Or wherever we were. And it's funny to me that Flanagan kind of did the same. He was just like, it doesn't matter how all these people got on this island. They're just here and there's different colors of them, and that's okay. Like it's kind of like it's funny that we can do that, but at the same time, he also pulls literally from the real world and talks a lot about the Islamist cop, and it's just kind of like, okay, wait, that's from the real world though, and so it's kind of like, I know you can't, there's only so many stories one can tell in the world, but he chose this specific one about 9/11, that wonderful monologue, which I thought was very nice. But also then no one of color was like, how'd I get on this island? Well, glad you asked. Here's my monologue about racism. So it's kind of interesting. Like, it was an interesting dichotomy. I think, Netflix, I think, has like a certain, like, equal opportunity writer and all of their contracts where they're like, you have to hire this many people of color, much like the government does. Yeah, I think that was very interesting. I feel like I had something else, but let's talk.
But so he does do the same thing that the Levies did with Schitt's Creek, which is this utopian town where we all want to live. Like, it is the future the liberals want. Where, we're all gay and we're all different races and we're all, isn't that great? But it is problematic that is not factual yet.
Yes.
And it does become, and generally it is only white male creators that do this, because I also think there's, Brian, you're a white man. I think there's also, maybe a feeling of, I'm an allyship where white men who have to write these shows want to make sure that everybody knows that this is the ideal, and so they overcompensate. I love it. I love that this is the town they all live in, but I'm also wondering, like, why is Annabeth Gish's hot lesbian girlfriend doesn't live there? She lives on the mainland.
Mm-hmm. And I wonder if it's like the fact that I think maybe it's also trying to make it less urban, in the sense where it's like they're on an island. It's like the boonies. Nobody lives out in the boonies. Everybody who wants to live anywhere lives on the mainland.
And where's Lisa's mother's entire family? Because if he's the mayor, like, you have her mother who's clearly biracial, and where's her story? Where's her family? So there are things that Mike Flanagan did where you're like, how? What? And so I did watch the whole series very much into it, right? I was like, nobody better make fun of this show. I love this show. And then, now that I've had time to think.
Sure, absolutely. And that's kind of, I feel exactly the same.
Atheists in their home, why don't they have fire extinguishers? Why can't we put out some of these fires? Let's do that.
Yeah, like in Ryan, my husband was very skeptical about the whole idea that they had burned so much down that they could not find shelter.
You can't hide under Rumble.
You can't. Yeah.
Ryan, what would you do? Would you put out a fire?
Yeah, like, could somebody just grab a fire extinguisher off a boat? Because I know a boat's got one. They've got to.
The town had just burnt down. The town had burnt down years before, so they should have things in place. There should be a fire. There should be a fire hydrant somewhere.
They should have a whole thing. Like,
they should have something to protect them.
Mm-hmm.
But I digress. Sometimes you gotta let some things go.
Yeah. Exactly, and that's
And I allow that's one of the things I sometimes let. I let these utopian, racially diverse things go, but I'm white, so I have a different. I'm like, yes, I love it because I've never experienced. I have a totally different lived experience than you or somebody else, and so I let that go. I let the stupid fucking fire go. Sometimes there's great art that you're willing to sacrifice logic.
Yeah. Well, it was so poetic too. I mean, come on. It was that wasn't reality. We don't talk in monologues like that. I mean, almost every single character had a gorgeous and gorgeously acted monologue, but we don't talk like that. We don't philosophize like that with each other. I mean, we do to a certain point, but not so succinctly and beautifully. And so I think there was kind of an otherworldly, poetic, like fairy tale quality to it. You can kind of let some of that stuff go.
It kind of reminded me of like a Hell House. Like, you know how like churches used to do like haunted houses, and they would, you'd walk in and there'd be a scene of a woman having an abortion.
Yeah.
And then she'd be like, I had an abortion and I regret it immediately. Like, and then
it's a gay prom.
Yeah. Or it's like somebody who's gay and they've got AIDS and they're dying and they're just like, why am I gay? It's just so stupid.
I listened to Beyonce and read Harry Potter.
Oh. Yeah, exactly. So I almost saw it as like,
it was kind of,
just like kind of a lot of times they would do these monologues and it would almost be like well, let me tell you my story. Yeah. Oh, I did love the girl who could walk again.
Lisa?
That confrontation with the
you reached through time, Joe Colley.
You reached through time.
You reached through time. That is one.
Yeah.
I instantly, and the second she was like, I forgive you, and he started sobbing, I was like,
oh my God, I know. That was incredible.
Absolutely.
There was so much that was phenomenal about this.
Really, and did you notice how many full names were used? You reached through time, Joe Colley. Oh, you, Annie Flynn, what do you have to say about your son, Riley Flynn?
Well, and yet I can't remember a single name. Of course.
Well, Mildred Gunning.
Yeah. All I know is Bev.
Gunning.
Fuck Bev.
A lot of that. So, Lindsey, you said that you wanted Bev to get.
I wanted her head decapitated. I wanted literally something just so final that she could not even. I wanted something so devastating. Happened. Okay, tell me, because I really think she literally went.
I think
and then burned.
That she went through all this and has these beliefs and strongly encouraged and proved that some of these beliefs were true. The angel appeared. We did this. And the last thing she sees is a Muslim man and his son praying to their religion, to their God, who they still believe in, and who all of this shit that went down and happened did not change these people's faith. And they used their dying breaths to praise their way. And it was a direct fly in the face of what she had tried to accomplish.
See, I almost wish they would have made it even worse, though. I wish they would have like literally had her just screaming at them like, stop! Like,
I don't know. To me, what hit me, and there's a scene I watched the finale 5 times. Because Kirk fell asleep during the first time, had to watch it again. He fell asleep the second time, had to watch it again. Then I watched it all again as one. So there's a moment when she's just on the beach and the sun is starting to come up and she looks over at them and you can see something break inside of her when she watches them pray as the sun comes up. And then the very next thing she does is dig that hole. Because in that moment, she lost all her faith. It's gone. And she was completely, and started digging that hole because she knew all she was a monster that was going to catch on fire when the sun came up. That God wasn't going to save her. Because I think before that moment, she maybe thought the sun was going to come up and God would save her. Because that's what she truly believed. And in that moment, she realized that there are other religions, that there are other opinions, that there are other views, and she was wrong, and she was gonna die.
Kaylin, I need you to do like a series commentary. That's a commentary I would absolutely listen to, where it was just like, and check this out.
Check this out.
And it's so cowardly. Yeah, like everyone else really faced it triumphantly and came together in their deaths. And I think it was such a perfect illustration of what these hardcore, religious people are like. I often wonder, these right-wing people who just do such horrible things and say such awful things and who are so religious. Like I kind of hope that because I'm agnostic myself, and I just hope like I go to sleep and it's done. But these are people who think that they're going to have this supreme paradise, and I almost hope that in their final breaths they kind of go, "Oh my, holy shit! This was not what Jesus taught us. You know, I wasn't supposed to discriminate against Black people and homosexual people, and you know, I wasn't supposed to do all this, and I did it. And holy fuck, here I go. I'm gonna die, and it's gonna be horrible because you know, I've what I've done was so you know wanted people didn't care if people carried guns into schools and just horrible things. So
well, I mean, these are the type of people that believe that everything you do in life and on earth is just getting good grades for heaven.
yeah.
And so what I think happens, I don't know. Can we all do our death monologues that Aaron?
Yes.
You go first.
What I think happens is I think when you die, and it's very similar to what Aaron said, right? I think when you die, you realize that heaven is the life you spent on earth. And so when you die, as your brain, I fully like how she explained it scientifically.
Yeah.
And like as you die, your brain synapses are firing, and the only thing that you have is memories of the life that you lived and the people that you loved and the things that you did. And so if you lived a good life and were filled with love and that's how you spend eternity before your brain rots away and then it's over. I mean, that's what it is. It's gone. And but you can live forever in those memories. And so I think when people who do live very bigoted lives because they think that's what God wants, because they think they're generally unhappy with their life as it is on earth, and so they can't believe to themselves that this is all there is.
Well, and they also, I guess, if like the way that she explains that, you know, heaven is all of your memories, if all of your memories are things that have wronged you and bad people that have done you wrong, then that's hell. Then your life was hell. Yeah, I very much liked the ending. I liked that description. Because yeah, when she starts talking about her kid, when he's like, "What do you think's gonna happen when you die?" and she's like, "Oh no, not me. Let's talk about my kid." I'm like, "No, I want to know what you think." So they were saving it for the end.
Saving it. Erin had 2 death monologues in the can that she was ready to give.
Yeah, I was like, okay, shit. It's very funny. This reminds me, like her. Now that I know that they're married, it's a very like Mila Jovovich Resident Evil situation where it's like the director's like, "Mila, do another movie," and she's like, don't make me do another one. I can't. But then it's like she just turns it out. She just like there's no one else. Like that's very much like this actress.
Her daughter on TikTok, they are twins.
Oh no, oh my god, they're both gorgeous.
Her twin.
Oh no, I'm gonna become addicted. I'm not. I can't.
Did you notice? I want to bring this up because I did not notice this at first. My friend did. You know, Erin's clipped your wings monologue?
Yeah.
And what's the last thing Erin did with her dying? She clipped the wings of the demon.
Yep.
I did love how that demon was so into blood that he was just like, "Stop it. Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it." Like, but still, then he's just like, wait, like, oh no, I can't fly.
Also, what was the conversation between Monsignor and the demon where he's like, "Hey, do you want to come back to my house? I got snacks. You want to come? Come on, get in this truck."
He said he put him in his suitcase, right?
And the demon was just
like, how the fuck did he fit in the suitcase?
Like, yes, this is a good idea. I don't like the desert anymore.
Yeah, it was almost like, yeah, just bring me to wherever you want, wherever I'm gonna get food. I'm gonna get some yummy tasties. I almost feel like, but then there's like all those cats, so he like literally had to be like, why can't I eat the people?
And the fact that the demon had enough, or the angel, see, that's the thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Was it?
No, I'm sorry. If there were, I just kept like seeing like, because I went to a lot of, you know, last time I was in a church was a Baptist church with a lot of Black people, and it was, I think it was a funeral, and they were just still just like praising and hands in the air and just like woo, and conversation to the, like I love how it's just like a constant conversation. And they're like, they're saying something, they're like, absolutely, hell yeah, like it's so nice, like to kind of see the conversation, whereas Catholicism is such a, you eat this and you drink that and we don't talk about it,
And we
goodbye,
all
like it.
sing the same song and say these same words.
So I feel like if there were more if there were more women with some Sunday hats up in there, they'd have been like, that's a demon. That's a demon. Excuse me. You put him in a dress. He a demon.
And my friend, the other
I
friend
ain't drinking
was
none of that.
where did he get all these? How come sometimes he was in clothes? Like, did they just tailor the Monsignor's robes to fit his wings? Like, sometimes he wore clothes and other times he was naked. Now, I rationalize that by saying when he had to wear clothes when he was in hiding,
Yeah.
because they didn't want anyone to know he was there. So he had to put on the hat and the coat and take his walks down by the beach. And then
on this small island where everybody knows each other.
He had to wear
Who's
clothes
that guy?
at church because it was a special event.
It was.
Oh yeah, I think
for a
that
special
was.
You gotta dress up when you go to the blood prom, you know.
Yes.
I think a lot of what the and I was like, that's a demon the whole time. I think anytime the demon showed up and he was like, I have this plan and I need you to do this. Like the demon's just like, as long as I get the destruction of the world, I'm down. Whatever you need me to do, you need me to wear a pretty dress? Fine. Good to go. As long as y'all need to eat people, and then you go over to the mainland and you eat everybody, and then the end of the world. That's what I want. Like, like to me, he just was like, he was playing the long game.
That's the ending. That's if Ryan Murphy had written Midnight Mass, that's how it would have ended. Everyone back on the mainland as sexy vampires killing each other. Well, now I have a question because I don't know a lot about Catholicism. So, and you do, Brian, like, you grew up with it.
Yeah.
Do you see how they talked about angels were scary and angels were kind of demons?
They were really trying to sell this. They were really trying to sell this.
Yeah. There is definitely the devil is definitely like a huge figure. I remember in Catholicism, he's definitely used as a threat. With this particular project, the small town, just kind of the look of it, I kept on thinking Salem's Lot. So I never thought of him as a demon or an angel. I always thought vampire.
You were like full vampire.
Like he was a full-on vampire. But yeah, in Catholicism, they definitely use, I think, I remember the nuns, like going to, every Friday, we would get out of school a little bit early and we'd walk to St. Patrick's. And the nuns who lived about 20 minutes away would drive in and we'd have church school. And yeah, like they made the devil seem like so present and so real and so much a part of your life that I used to wake up screaming and having nightmares that the devil was in my room and was coming to get me. And so yeah, so I think you're definitely, given this thing about the devil being horrible, but I never remember them emphasizing that he was also an angel. Like they would kind of go like he was an angel at one time and he fell away, but there was never like a huge thing. Good angels, bad angels. It was like he was, at least the way that I was brought up, he was the devil. Yeah, and the angel quotient never really came into that. That was part of the history behind him, but it wasn't emphasized as much, at least how I was raised and taught. But the devil was the devil still fucking freaks me out. I have a devil tattoo just in defiance of that, because like literally I am agnostic and I still like will watch The Exorcist or watch, The Possession of Emily Rose or whatever, these films, and get freaked out. And because everyone's like, this really happened. This is based on a true story. And even though like I don't believe anymore, it still gets to me. It still freaks me out so bad that I literally, as a fuck you, and defiance, I have a devil tattoo.
Wow.
As a kind of indoctrinating children into, and that's where it comes from.
Yeah.
Well, I kept thinking of my non-raised religiously brain. All I could think of was the memes about biblical angels.
Yeah.
You know how they're always like, oh, in the Bible, like a angel is just eyes and wings, or like a ring of eyes. So whenever he was like, oh, when the angel came down, they were like, be not afraid, because maybe like, yeah, when angels came down, they were just like, and they were like, be not afraid, I'm an angel, and they're like, what the fuck? And so
horrifying.
there's lots of memes where it's like, sir, this is the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life, and it's like, be not afraid.
Terrified. What are you talking about?
Yeah, so but it was just so funny because it was to me, such a hollow grab. It was such a grab. He was trying it was so funny because I knew at that moment that the Monsignor wasn't in control at that point. When the demon comes in and he's like, "No, see, it's fine." I was like, "Oh shit, he doesn't have an end game. He doesn't even know what they're about." Like he thought that he could sit them all down and be like, "It's okay, guys," and everybody would be like, "Mm-hmm, you're right." But it was like that was not going to be the case, and he was out of his depth.
I think he was used by the main monster, the angel or whatever, to I do. So I think
it's like his body was young, but his brain was still senile as
was.
fuck.
Yeah.
When he's staring at Annabeth Gish and at her girlfriend, and he's creepily staring, you're like, don't do that. Just go talk to them.
But what is
Stop.
so amazing, the full circle, as you talked about, like the clipping of the wings, and she tears the wings, and you find out later that he's actually her dad.
Yeah.
To me, I thought that was a little bit of like like they threw that and they were just like, pew, and then nothing happened. Then she just dies in front of him. They find out, and then she's like, Urgh.
So you find out that all this mess, all this stuff that had to do seemed like it was about religion and and God and all this stuff was just that this man wanted his daughter and wife to live forever with him so he could love them.
Yeah.
That's all he wanted.
There's some pretty crazy, just so many threads, and despite the
can you imagine though them
some pretty amazing stuff.
Yeah, if you such little details that are overshadowed by these bigger.
Some really
I'm sorry.
cool, minute, really intricate stuff. So
yeah, though it's funny to me, like, can you imagine his, like, say everybody actually was like tame about their hunger or whatever, and they did live forever feeding off of small animals or a passerby, which like would not happen. But you like picture him being like what would he do then? Be like, okay, I'm not a priest anymore, I'm gonna live with my lady and my daughter forever.
They like, just keep having midnight mass. And
could you imagine Bev being like, what the fuck is this? What are you doing?
How
I guess
dare
you could just
you
become like any other religion that's halfway normal, where you can be gay and you can have a wife if you're a woman pastor, and have children, like almost, I think anything organized, whether it's corporate culture or whatever, there are issues, obviously, but I think that's just how insanely screwed up the Catholic Church is. Like every other religion that I can think of allows you to have a family and a life and to procreate and be whatever, and so I think so he would stop being Catholic and he could be Lutheran or Baptist or Protestant or if he wanted to be, still be a Monsignor type. So
possibly, yeah. It's just to me, it just was such a at that point when the demon comes out, I'm just like, dude, he doesn't fucking know what he is doing.
He don't know.
There is no way.
But what I know, as we're wrapping things up,
yes,
because we talk about this forever, is that Caitlin is an amazing performer. And how much longer is Dr. Horrible's sing-along going on in Chicago?
It goes until November 6th. It goes until November 6th. We have Thursday, Friday, Saturdays at 7:30 and Sundays at 3. It's only an hour long. Come see us do silly stuff.
This fits in with this because it's a cult classic has some horror connotations, so that they're actually staging Dr. Horrible's sing-along. The occult blog?
Yeah.
Yes, sing along blog.
On stage.
Live on stage, an authorized fan production.
Yeah.
To benefit Season of Concern.
Nice.
So money goes to Season of Concern, and we're just up there being silly and doing stupid things, and it's fun.
And this has kind of been a dream of yours for a while, correct? To do this on stage?
I've liked it for a while, and I illegally produced a version of it once. Don't tell Joss Whedon.
I won't.
Hey, yeah, but seriously, if you're in Chicago, please go check that out. Kaylin is amazing. She literally does so much art and so much wonderful stuff in Chicago, and I miss being in that orbit. Yeah. But man, that's like thank you so much for I have one more question.
All right.
Because I've been doing this thing now where I've been listening to audiobooks that you can get from your library. So much fun. So I've been walking around the spooky neighborhood of Irvington, Indianapolis, listening to audiobooks, and I listened to Sleeping Beauties, the Stephen King and Owen King. Have you?
I have not.
Oh man, it's pretty great. It's basically like a bunch, like every woman on Earth falls asleep and gets put in this like cocoon. And if anyone wakes them up, they are violent and like angrily, like strong and violent, and they just murder whoever the hell comes near them.
When I'm awoken,
it's great. It's it's very interesting because it kind of talks about like what a world without women would be, and what a like kind of the world of women and the world of men, told from Stephen King and his son's like standpoint. Very interesting, and I from the way things are going, as they always are with Stephen King, I'm sure it'll be made into some kind of mini series. It's like The Stand, but with women, with strong ass women. Perhaps doing some awesome shit.
Mike Flanagan and Kate Siegel.
I could see
Stephen King hooked up.
Yeah.
That would be delicious. I wouldn't mind that at all, actually.
Well, did he do Dr. Sleep? He did Dr. Sleep, correct?
He did do Dr. Sleep.
He did do Dr. Sleep.
You're right. They did hook up, and it was good.
It was really good. I very much enjoyed that one.
Like, I don't know why Ewan McGregor keeps getting cast in things, but God love him. I guess. I don't know.
He was definitely not
with that demon.
Yeah,
he was.
Right.
He was
but
not
only
the
when
choice
the demon
for me.
is fully clothed.
Also, and I'm sorry.
Ewan doesn't do naked demon. He's gotta have a top hat on.
I'm sorry, Jared. I know we're going over. I love you so much, but I also want to bring up my favorite Twitter interaction because of Midnight Mass.
Okay. I think that's a perfect way to wrap it up.
I think.
Yeah. So this is great. So Rahul Kohli is the guy who played the sheriff.
He's got a thirst trap TikTok too.
Oh, dude, he's delicious. Yeah. By the way,
was he in the zombie show, the iZombie?
He was in iZombie, okay. Yes.
Okay.
So somebody replied to Midnight Mass, Flanagan, and Rahul, and was like, would have preferred it to have been a Muslim actor instead of a Hindu actor, but nevertheless, the representation was great, and I love Rahul as an actor. And he went, I'm an atheist.
Nice.
Rahul Kohli was like, I'm an atheist. And then somebody was like, but Indian? Must Hindu? Like, meaning like, if you're Indian, aren't you Hindu?
Isn't that how it goes?
Yeah, and he was like, sadly, I Hindon't. I was like, yes.
He's a national treasure.
Dude, he's amazing. And I really like the way he's been mouthing off about the way people have, because he's so famous now because of this, the way that people have been talking to him about like really just looping him in with like Dev Patel and Riz Ahmed. Yeah, that was the guy who was in Sound of Metal. Like, it's just been really interesting to see his responses to them. And I do feel like sometimes when you're a character of color and you're singled out and people are like really talking about your representation, there is a moment where you have to be like, shut up.
Yeah.
Hi, shut up, please. Like, so I really do think that, I think that Flanagan and people who are doing shows like this, who are showcasing talent of Black and brown people, like, protect them from Twitter idiots, please.
Yeah.
Keep protecting them. Yay. Well, thank you, Caitlin. Thank you so much. This was so much fun.
This is a nice little taste, because I think we are working our hardest to rope Miss Jackson in on a regular basis.
Yes.
I think I want to come on, and every month I think maybe I want to tell you about a horror television show.
All right.
I love it.
You guys are all about movies. I mean, I love the movies too, but
no, I agree. No, everything is on the table. Absolutely. Like that's so great. I salute you, and I cannot wait for these sweet things. Happy Halloween, you guys.
Happy Halloween, everyone. Thank you so much. Yay. Let us know what you thought about Midnight Mass.
Just like her.
Tell me all the things. Yay.